Staying with us, Bill O'Reilly in the Miller Time segment tonight. Radio talk show star Dennis Miller has been studying the tendencies, as they say in football, of Governor Sarah Palin. Has come up with a game plan. Mr. Miller joins us now from Los Angeles. All right, everybody wants to know what your advice to the governor is.
Well, first, Bill, before we get underway, I have to tell you, wink, wink, Neil Cavuto sleeps with the fishes. I did it around 2 hours ago.
Explain that to me.
I saw you and Cavuto have a dust-up last night. Right. So as your trusted aide-de-camp and driver, I took him out.
I see. You took up my cause after that tete-a-tete with Cavuto. You know, I have to say to the audience, Cavuto is the greatest guy in the world. We just disagree on, and we're going to get to the economics with you, too. We disagree on the oil companies. We disagree on that. All right, so Governor Palin.
I left the gun and I took the cannoli. Sarah Palin, let's see. First off, my advice would be she should never repeat a line again from that big speech that night. That's silly. That was a once-in-a-lifetime event. She should treat it as such. When she's on the stump, she cannot go back to those lines.
Okay.
Secondly, I think there's a chance that she can get into Joe Biden's kitchen. And if I was her, I would do something. During the debate, at some point, he's going to wheel out one of his tired Joe Biden canards, and she should say, Joe, you can put lipstick on that pig, but it's still a pig. People will flip out if she does that.
Place goes wild,
they won't believe she has. They won't believe she has that sort of moxie. And she should constantly refer to the McCain doctrine throughout the evening. Well, no matter what she's talking about, she should say the McCain doctrine. Make hay off Charlie Gibson, too. And finally, when she gets to the end of this debate, she should look across the table at Joe, and she should say, listen, there's one thing we can agree on. We both had sons go off to Iraq. Now, during the 2000 election, the Democratic Party in Florida tried to not count their votes. Can you and I make a pact tonight that our kids' votes and all their cronies, men and women who are over there fighting for this country, that we will count their votes? He'll be painted into a corner. He won't know what to say.
All right. Those are very interesting pieces of advice for the governor. Now, on The View, and I want to play the folks this because it's just such a great clip. You had Barack Obama earlier, and then you had John McCain last week, and their tone was a little different. Roll the tape.
There are ads running from your campaign. One of them is saying that Obama, when he said you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig, was talking about Sarah. There's another ad that says that Obama was interested in teaching sex education to kindergartners. Now, we know that those two ads are untrue. They're lies.
I have to just say one other thing back before we go into serious stuff.
Yes.
I understand that you're related to Brad Pitt in some way.
She was chosen to reform the government.
Because
Who
that's
is
what
she going to
she's
reform?
done. That's what she's done.
Who is? But you chose it just to reform.
The Republican Party, the Democrat Party, even an independent. She'll reform all of Washington, just like she did by doing what she did in Alaska.
What is she going to reform specifically? Maybe we shouldn't say this, but do we say?
Go say it,
we
say
thought
it.
you were very sexy looking.
Oh,
Don't you think so?
You know, I knew there was a question I forgot to ask Obama about that would have been it. So, does it matter? I think it's just funny. What do you think?
I don't find it that funny. Who knew Rosie was the genius there? I don't know why John McCain would go on there. The View makes the New York Times look like the paper a record, and we know it isn't that anymore. It's just now a building that acrobats climb. I don't know why John would go on there, but I guess, you know, I like Whoopi. Whoopi's always made me laugh from the time she coaxed Ted Danson to get out of that car in midday in Manhattan dressed in blackface for that roast. It's one of the 5 funniest things I've ever seen in my life, so she always makes me laugh. But, you know, it's getting a little shrieky over there, and you could see the difference there. I think that sort of stuff will catch up to, well, maybe it won't. I don't seem to know the world anymore, but that sort of direct difference in the way they approach the two people, I think, might work for McCain.
I think it might as well. Okay, are you as angry as I am over this collapse of the stock market because it didn't have to happen and they should have warned everybody and they simply didn't do it?
Well, listen, I was at a mall 2 days ago and I saw AIG sitting there with a cup and I gave it 14 of my own bucks. If they had told me they were going to get 85 the next day, I would have never made the loan to them myself. Bill, we're at the beginning, the opening gate of a bear market. A bear market, as I define it, is one where I look at the current worth of my personal portfolio. I immediately run out into the middle of the woods and void myself.
A bear, does the bear void in the woods? Is that something like that?
I used defecation last week, so I had to go to the thesaurus to find a different term.
There's a theme about functions of the body, Miller, that, you know, it's your inner 5-year-old, and it always pops out on the factor. All right, finally, you saw the Saturday Night Live deal. What did you think about that?
Yeah. I think Tina Fey's a genius. Now, granted, she's no Joy Behar, but she is a genius. And I think Sarah ought to just do what she's doing, roll with this. Lorne doesn't have an axe to grind, except he likes to make people laugh. He's going to put the funniest thing on the air. But if she does go on that show, I think she's got a chance to send a big home run out to her base. If they let her set the show up at the beginning and the cold opening, she should turn to the camera and instead of live say, "Life from New York." It's Saturday Night Live. The right to life people will go bats.
Miller, I think you're topping yourself, man. You got to stay out of the woods, but other than that, you're a pro. We'll see you next week. Next up.
Thank you.